this video, I want to talk about cumulative frequencies. First, the vocabulary. The cumulative frequency describes a sort of running total of frequency and a frequency distribution. A percentile is a statistic that identifies a percentage of the data that is less than the given value. Example 1. The table below shows the normal precipitation in Los Angeles, California. The second column in the table shows the precipitation by month. Complete the cumulative precipitation chart. Okay, first thing you want to do is we want to try to add. So that's pretty much what cumulative means, like you're adding. Like when you're thinking about cumulative, like you're trying to, like during a snowstorm or during rain, like in this example, if you're trying to figure out how much rain you're getting per month, there's usually some data on, okay, during this rain, there was a quarter inch. During this rain, there might have been another half an inch, and they keep on adding all this data up to figure out how much rain there was or how much snow there was per month. So first thing we're doing cumulative precipitation. So we're trying to figure out in January, there's 2.4 inches. So we just rewrite it as 2.4. In February, we want to add in the 2.4 plus the next month. So that would be 2.51. And then we put our total here in this column. So that'll be 2.91. So now we're going to add the next total. 4.91, not 2.91. Then we're going to add in our 1.98. And that would be 6.89. We put our answer in this column. Then we're going to add in the 0.72. We'll put our answer to the right, and that's going to be 7.64. Then we're going to add in our 0.14. Now it's going to be 7.78. Then we're going to add in the 0.03. So that's going to be 7.81. Then we're going to add in our 0.01. That's going to be 7.82. That was easy. Then add in the 0.15. And that gives me 7.97. We're almost done. Then we're going to add in the 0.31. And that's going to give me a total of 8. Make that look better. 8.28. We're adding the 0.34. Give me a total of 8.62. Then we're adding the 1.76. Give me a total of 10.38. And then we add in our 1.66. Give me a total of 12.04. So we've handled part A when it's asked us about to fill in the charts. Next, we're going to do a bar graph. So first we're going to do is we're going to go up to 2.4 for January. So 2.4 is roughly about here, and we're going to highlight it and fill it in. Then for February, we got to 4.91. Remember, in a bar graph, they don't touch. The 4.91 is roughly about here. And we fill it in. And then for March, we're going to go up to 6.89. Try to do your best not to touch. And we fill it in. Obviously, if you use technology, your bar graph will look nicer than the one I'm trying to draw by hand. Then for May, we got this. Sorry, for April, we got the 7.64. Just a little bit higher, a little bit closer to 8. And we just fill it in. May just a little bit higher, 7.78, and June 7.81. So we're just going to make the next two bars just slightly higher. And because we're approximating, they are going to look like they're almost the same, but they aren't. Okay, then we have the 7.97, which is a little bit closer to 8 for July. And we fill it in. For August, we hit 8. July was 7.82. Then August is 7.97. So let's just fix our bar. And we're going to fill both bars in. So apparently in Los Angeles, it is very dry in the summer, which makes sense because that is close to the desert area of the United States. Same thing in September and October. So we just go up a little bit more, 8.28 and 8.62. Just break it 8 and then 8.62, just a little bit higher. And we'll fill it in. November, we have a little bit more precipitation. So that's going to put us at 1.7, add 1.76 to be at 10.38. Taking note how each bar is slightly higher. And the reason being is because we did add all of our precipitation together for the year. And then 12.04 for December. And we're done our bar graph. Okay, part C. When is the 50th percentile? To calculate the 50th percentile, so C, that would be, you just take the total. So 50th percentile, and I'll just abbreviate as p-tile. That's will be just 0.50 times 12.04. So 0.50 times 12.04 will give me 6.02. And we look at our chart to figure out when this occurs. So we look at our chart, take note how in, let's use some different colors besides blue. In the first month, we're in green. So that's 2.4. The second month, we're at 4.91. We still haven't hit that 6.02 mark. And by the third month, which I'll use in light blue, we're finally at 6.89. So sometime between February and March, we hit that 6.02. So we're going to make our argument is going to be that the 50th percentile is in March. So we'll say it occurs in March. Part D. It's asking about the 75th percentile. So again, I'll abbreviate that as 75th P tile. So that'll be just be 0.75 times 12.04. Use a calculator. And that gives me 9.03. We look at our chart to figure out when that occurs. So continuing the same logic, we could see that in October, we're finally at 8.62. We saw it hit that 9. Recall, we are looking for 9.03, so that hasn't quite got us there. So if we take a look really close at November, we're at 10.38. So sometime between October and November, we hit our 75th percentile. So we're going to say this occurs during November. And we are done with the precipitation problem. Example 2 is about box office sales for a major movie, Black Panther. So we're going to use cumulative sales to find the total box office sales for Black Panther for the first 7 weeks. So just like in the last example, all we're going to do is copy over the total for the first week. Then we add them. So it'll be 291, 954, 422 plus 435 million, $400,037. So within the first 2 weeks, the movie made 7,727,354,459. By the way, this is the United States, not worldwide. Then you just keep on adding. Plus 520,879,601. Let's write out the numbers. So 1,448,234,234,060. Keep following this procedure, just adding in the 578 million. That's 0.826. 610,588. 614,258,236. Add the next line. 868, 824. So within 5 weeks, they broke $2 billion. And keep in mind that when this movie actually came out, they had many, many weeks of sales breaking $600,000 and $600 million in sales just in the United States, not even counting the worldwide. So within 6 weeks, they broke $3 billion. So 3 billion, 80 million, 305,458. And then add in the last week, 656 million, 925,740. So we're close to $4 billion within 7 weeks. And keep in mind, this kept going because this was a very popular movie in 2018. $231 and 198. So we have our cumulative sales. So it's going to ask us to create a bar graph. Because these numbers are so large, we're round to the nearest million. So the round to the nearest million, So that would be 292 million. We'll round this to 727. We'll round this to 1,248. We'll round this one to 1827. We'll round this one to 1441. Sorry, 2441. We'll round this one to 3080, and we'll round this one to 3737. So let's start making our bar graph. So first one's 292. Can't quite see it, but we're going to estimate. And we're going to fill it in. And keep in mind, bar graphs don't touch, so I need to erase this a little bit so I have room to get the next bar in. We'll use pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And then for the next one, we go up to 727. So that will be in between the the 500 and the 1,000. And just be careful not to make it don't touch, because this is a bar graph, not a histogram. Next one will go up to 1248. So in between the 1,000 and the 1,500, and fill it in. The next one would be 1827. So we'll estimate that to be between 1,500 and 2,000, and fill it in. The next one will be 2,441. So that'll be between 2,000 and 2,500. We'll fill it in with pink. Take note, I'm not letting my bars touch because this is not a histogram. This is a bar graph. So we have the next one, 3080. This is 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just fill it in. And then the last one would be at 3737. So just above this line. And just fill it up. And we'll fill it in with pink. Okay, so we made our bar graph. Technically, these bars should be lined up a little bit closer to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I drew lines to show you that's where they should be. And now we're going to find our 25th, 50th, and 75th percentiles. So to figure out the 25th, we'll abbreviate that as 25th percentile. That'll be just 0.25 times, we'll just round, 373, 3,737 million. So we'll just multiply 0.25 times 3737. This will give me 0.93425. So we analyze our table to figure out when this happened. So if we take this let's do our coloring scheme to figure this out. So we'll start with yellow. I haven't hit that 934,000 yet, so let's switch colors. We'll switch to orange next. We still haven't hit the 934 million. But if we look at our next one, we are at 1248. So between weeks 2 and 3, we hit that 934 million. So we'll say this. So since that's at the end of week, since we're talking about 727 million at the end of week 2, we're going to use week 3 as our 25th percentile. So we'll just say this occurs during week 3. We'll use a similar procedure for the 50th and 75th percentile. So 50th percentile will be 0.50 times 373, 3,373, 3,737. So when I multiply 0.5 times 3737, that gives me 1868.5. So now we're looking for 1868.5. Just continue highlighting. So you look at the next line, we're at 1827. Keep in mind we're looking for 1868.5. So that we haven't hit it yet. Let's twist to green now. The next one we're at 2,441. So in between weeks 4 and 5, that's when we hit $1,868 million. So we'll just round up, since we'll round up to the week 5. So we'll say this occurs during week 5. And we are done with the 50th percentile. And then the last one we'll do is the 75th percentile. So that'll be just 0.75 times 3737. And that gives me 2802.75. So now we seem to find that the 2802.75. So at the end of week 5, we're at 2,441. We haven't quite got there yet, but we're almost there. Let's change the shade a little bit. We'll change it to this puke green. It looks. So if we look between 2,441 and 3,080, that's where my 2,802 falls. So we're going to say this occurs during week 6. During week 6, and we are done with the box office movie question.